Okay, this is a short video on what we covered in class today. So what we're going to do is just rework those examples so that hopefully you can pause and play and think a bit more deeply about it. Um, the first one is 1.785, and what we wanted to do is round that to two decimal places. So here's the approach that I want you to take every single time. So what you do is you count one decimal place, two decimal places, draw your line. Okay, and what we do then is after I've drawn my line, I look at one digit and one digit only to determine how I'm going to round the number. And that's the number to the right, or the digit to the right of the line I've just drawn. We call this one the critical digit. It's pretty important because it tells us how we're going to round it. Now, if the critical digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, what we do is we round up. If it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I call it like leave it or chop it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about in a sec. So this is a 5. Okay, so what that means is we're going to round up, and rounding up means we add 1 to this digit here. So the digit to the left. So this is going to be 1.79. And it's very similar to rounding whole numbers. So if I was going to round, say, 2,355 to the nearest, say, 10, this is the tens column. What I do was draw my line there. 5 means that goes up by 1, 2, 3, 6, 0. So it's the same idea here. So this is 1.79. All right, let's have a look at the next example. So what we've got is 0.95834, and we want that to 4 dp, or 3 decimal places rather. So there's the first decimal place, second decimal place, third decimal place. Line goes there, and we're going to look at the critical digit. Now that is in this particular group here, and that's the group that I call just chop it. Okay, so what we're going to do is not round up, we're going to kind of round down or just chop the end off and go lower. So this is going to round to 0.58. Okay, so that one is 0.958. Okay, for the third one, that's certainly one that causes students some issues. 1.299, what we do is we draw our line, look at the critical digit. The critical digit says I need to add 1 to this digit here, or 1 to the hundredths column. Now the problem is that when I add 1 to the hundredths column, that becomes 10 hundredths, okay? And I can't put 10 in the hundredths column, I can only put a digit. So 10 hundredths is actually equal to a tenth. They're the same thing. 10 hundredths is the same as 1/10. So what I would actually do here is by adding 1 to this column here, I'd make this 1.2, so 2 tenths and 10 hundredths, which is exactly the same as 1.30. That is 0 hundredths and 3 tenths, because I'm going to exchange those 10 hundredths and put them into the tenths. So that would be 1.30. Now that's also equal to 1.3, but we're going to say that we want it to two decimal places. So I'm actually going to put the first and the second decimal place in. I'm going to actually say that it's 1.30, even though 1.30 is exactly the same as 1.3. All right, let's do this last example, and it's the hardest of all of the examples. All right, so we've got 6.21995, and we want that to 4 decimal places. First, second, third, fourth. Line goes there, critical digit. Critical digit says this has got to go up by 1. So what's going to happen is this 9 is going to be a 10, all right? But we can't have 10 in that column there. So what that means is the 10 we'll exchange for one more of these ones here. But when I add 1 to this one here, that becomes 10, and I can't have 10 here. So I'm going to exchange the 10 here to one more of this. Okay, so what that's going to be is 6.2, and these are going to be 0, 0. Now, some students find that hard to follow. So the other way I think about it is I've got 0.2199, and what I'm adding to it is 0.0001. I'm adding a, what's that? That's 10th, 100th, 1000th, 10,000th. I'm adding 1/10,000th onto this number here. Now, what's 9 plus 1? Well, that's 0, 10, carry the 1. What's 1 plus 9? It's going to be 10, write down 0, carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 0 is 2, 0. So my answer when I add 1 to, or 1/10,000th to 0.2199, what I'm going to get is 0.2200. Okay, so that's what we're going to say our answer is here. Our answer rounded to 4 decimal places is 6.2200. All right, so go through that exercise very slowly, girls, and if you have any problems with the rounding, please let me know via email.